switch your phone off and disappear.
But I need to go back. Yeah.
रिश्ता तो दिया रिश्ता तो दिया
كيف حالكم؟
الحمد لله بخير
الحمد لله.
وأنا بخير الحمد لله. حلقي به ألم. حلق، ما معنى حلق؟ throat. حلق، وفي القرآن حلقوم أيضا. حلق وحلقوم.
حلاقة. That's a barber, isn't it?
نعم.
حلاقة. Why is that?
barber يا حلقا حلقوم. نفس الشيء. إذا بلغت الروح الحلقوم، إذا بلغت الحلقوم it reaches the throat. سنقول ألم في حلق، ألم في الحلق. Like a pain like a sore throat.
Alam I thought was flag.
No.
علم.
Oh.
My pronunciation today is not good. علم. ألم وقلم. علم فلاج ألم قلم.
So you didn't get halqum.
حلقا حلقوم throat.
And halq.
Both.
Both.
They say حلق or حلقوم.
حلقوم is plural.
It's a pain. There is a pain.
نفس الشيء.
ألم في حلق.
كيف؟
There is a pain.
كيف نقول كف؟ سعال. سعال is كف. الجذر سا ع لا معناها كف. سعلا.
Sorry, Ustaz.
نعم.
They're just leaving now. I have to go now.
All right. سبحان الله.
Look, we're all leaving now. Sorry, Ustaz.
No. You have to come all the way and just go back.
They have shocked me at first time my community. Normally it would take an hour to come. मैं जाता हूँ यार माफी चाहता हूँ ये please عفوا
تفضل.
سعال is كف.
سعال is a كف. سعال.
So حلقي ألم.
ألم حلقي.
ألم.
لأن الصفة تأتي بعد الاسم. نعم. ألم الحلقي.
So alam is pain, but pain is, are you saying sifa? Is it the noun?
حلقي is the صفة. You're saying it's a throat pain. You're describing the pain to be from the throat. Okay, so the noun. That's why it comes after حلقي.
मैं साथ ही जवा दूँगी. अभी ले जाओ.
अभी ले जाओ. प्लेट में ले आओ. ठीक है.
अब पूरी प्लेट लेके जा रहे हैं. मैं कुछ एक सब दे दो. After डाल दो. जी. To just put 3 seconds.
ألم يعلم.
Good.
That you know.
Yeah. We'll come to this.
The
word.
Do you?
The word ألم.
Don't you?
It's just a good word. Lam mim. Okay. But ألم in Quran is 2 words. A and lam. هناك فرق في القرآن. ألم ترى كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل. همزة سؤال مثل هل.
Do you not see?
and لم معناها didn't. So ألم. So the كلمة ألم in القرآن like سؤال. Didn't you see? So هذا هو الفرق. This is the difference. But ألم I'm talking about it's one word pain ألم
I think I left my right book there. Okay.
we have the word ألم in Quran a lot but in a different form. Who can tell me? So the word ألم pain it's actually a lot in Quran but in a different form. Do you know any word in Quran that has alif lam mim? Aside from these are different.
حروف المقطعات don't count.
Yeah, don't get yeah. So all the
ألم
time.
يجدك يتيما فآوى.
This is the same. Yeah. You know, always at the end of verbs, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about an-nar, He says, عذاب أليم.
Oh yeah.
أليم is ألم. لكن it's
exam.
أحسنتي. ما وزن أليم؟ فعيل. Very painful.
Very painful.
Yeah, because it's ألم, pain, but then it's following فعيل, أليم. You see, so the word أليم is a lot, but you don't see the root word. Because it's always in your mind أليم, but أليم تأتي من كلمة ألم. عذاب أليم.
You know when you say alamun fi halki,
Yeah.
that means there is pain in my throat. You don't say there is.
No, there is no is. Yeah,
That's just covered.
Yeah, that covers it. Yeah. ما معنى حرارتي
Fever.
مرتفعة؟
You have my medicine to be.
كلمة حرارة
That's heat.
Heat.
أحسنت من حر. So كلمة حرارة معناها the temperature, the heat. Yeah. حرارتي my temperature. مرتفعة من كلمة رافعة. ما معنى رفعة؟ to raise. To raise. So مرتفعة معناها it's high. Or you can use another word عالية. ما معنى كلمة عالي؟
High.
So because كلمة حرارة مؤنث.
Yeah.
So حرارتي عالية.
So حرارة is مؤنث.
حرارة is مؤنث. حرارة.
Oh, so with the تاء مربوطة in.
Yeah, because we are adding the ya, so the تاء مربوطة goes back to be a normal تاء. حرارتي مرتفعة.
مرتفعة.
أو حرارتي عالية.
مرتفعة, the meme with the dhamma on it makes it the ism of Allah, or no, sorry, it's the person.
The doer.
The doer.
The doer. المدرس.
So how do we ask, like, have you got fever?
You have got fever, you say. If you ask me a question, هل حرارتك مرتفعة?
Okay.
ما هو fever is a high temperature. But there is one word for fever, which is حمى. حمى. حمى معناها fever, just as a medical term, one word.
How do you say, do you have a fever? حرارتك.
Do you have a hal?
هل
حرارتك.
حرارتك عالية؟ هل حرارتك مرتفعة؟ If you mention حمى, one word, you say هل عندك. To have is عندك. Say عندي, I have. He says هل عندك حمى؟ هل عندك برد؟ Do you have
Inda
cold?
is from, isn't it? In the...
Yeah, it can come with the meaning from هو من عند الله. Why is that? Because the translation of the word عند is at. The word عند literally means at.
E.T. At.
Like at this place, at that.
Right.
Yeah. So when I say هل عندك, it's at you, you have it. Or when we say اشتريت هذا من عندي, so and so, we say from at this place, so from this place.
Right.
So كلمة عند literally معناها at. So when I say هل عندك حمى, like do you have fever? هل عندك برد? Do you have a cold?
Bird is called Ba, Ra, and Dal.
Yes, برد. So
Is that cold as in temperature or anything cold? Bird.
برد as like the illness is like برد.
Oh, right.
But to describe something to be cold,
There's another word for that.
بارد with an alif. So look, I have برد. That's cold. Yeah. And بارد. That's an adjective. So so the word برد is a noun. So it's like refers to the coldness itself. So it can refer to cold as an illness. But بارد is فاعل. So it's a description. So you say العصير بارد. The juice is cold. Yeah. So بارد.
Adjective.
And there is one famous, yeah, from the same root, it's called برد. برد, which is not commonly used, but it's a very fusha word that people don't use anymore, but only in dua. برد, this is the actual correct word for snow. Snow is برد. People say ثلج. And if I'm teaching someone, I'll like use ثلج for snow or ice in general. But as in English, there's a difference between ice and snow. In Arabic, there is. ثلج is ice. Snow is برد. And you would find it in one of the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. One of the du'as that he used to say at the beginning of a prayer. He says, Allahumma ghsilni min khatayay. Oh Allah, wash me. غسل من الخطايا يعني الذنوب, sins, بالماء, water, والثلج, ice, والبرد, and snow. And for those who study fiqh in Arabic, they would, when we talk about what sort of water we can use to purify, like for wudu or ghusl, you will study that you can use ma' or thalj or barad. So if it melts down, it's pure water, even if it was like snow. Yeah. So barad is the correct way for the word snow.
Sakhin is hot in temperature.
Yes, sakhin. Yes, you can use this. Yeah. And الطبيب, like Major Tommy says, أنت ساخن. أنت ساخن.
You are.
Yeah, like you're hot. So you will use this as well. So you can use it. Yeah, ساخن. أفضل. ادخل.
Dr. Ayman's class.
I can manage with some of these, inshallah.
Yeah. It's practical stuff.
Apparently, there is a book which medical Arabic medical terminology. So you know, it has got questions what you can ask and answer.
So you need to get that.
Yeah, videos. But yeah, that's my next thing.
Then your Arabic will become good if you start.
When I
Speaking
went
with
and met
patients.
people over there, they said, "Oh, we do all our discussion in English." I said, "No point."
جميل. كيف نقول head؟ See, you have some advanced words, but some of the basics are missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Head.
Yeah. رأس.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see, like. نجيب رأس. لماذا؟ لأن رأس جذر معناها to head something. Yeah.
To head a football.
Yeah. Anything. Even a president of a country.
Oh.
رئيس. رئيس. Which is فعيل.
رئيس المنافقين.
أو رئيس المنافقين. The head of the hypocrites. أحسن. So the word رئيس means like, you know, a head as a, like, you know, as a title to someone. So رأس رئيس. كيف نقول ها؟ شعر. شعر. Because you have شعر as poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's شعر. Yeah.
Is there a plural of hair in Arabic? No.
They use شعرات because شعر is plural on its own as in
Yes,
English.
in English,
hair.
yeah.
You can say one, you say شعرة. شعرة. So you can, because it's feminine, so you can make a feminine plural. You say شعرات.
So when would you use sha'rat and when would you use
شعرات
sha'r?
because the word hair in Arabic can refer to anything that's hair-like.
Okay.
Like, for example, you know, like an electric lead to describe like how many threads in it. So they would use the word sha'rat in engineering and things like this to describe the threads because they are hair-like. So that's how we would use like such a...
When you ask for a haircut, is that sha'r?
Sha'r, yes, you would, yes,
different.
that's a haircut. قص شعر.
قص.
قص.
Thing.
Yeah, because when you use cut as like in like with scissors is different from any other cut. Okay, so scissors is to cut with the scissors is قص. قصة. قصة معناها to cut like with scissors. But with a knife or anything else, you say قطع. قطع. Famous. But قص معناها to cut with scissors. If this, so ما معنى مقص؟
Scissors.
Scissors itself. اسمه آلة الميم with a كسرة. So مقص معناها scissors because it is the tool that you use to cut. So هذا مقص.
Do you have makis as well? Marcus.
No, no,
Who's the
مخص, no.
hairdresser?
Yeah, we use for a hairdresser because we have the word halaqa, which is specifically to like like to dress hair, like to shave halaqa. So we call halaq.
Yeah,
Because we
Allah.
will learn this later in Arabic that sometime you can use mahlaq, a place where you shave or you have your hair cut. Sometime we'll study this later, inshallah, that they say you can refer to the place referring to the person who is in the place. So it's like here, exactly, you do the same thing. People are not going, people also say, I'm going to the barber. And instead of saying like to the shop, his shop, you refer to him as the barber. So the same thing in Arabic, we have this relation as well. You can refer to the place referring to the man who works there, the job itself. So that happens in Arabic. Sometimes instead of referring to the place, you refer to the job. Going to the barber, say, حلاق, أذهب إلى الحلاق. So we know that you're not going to him as a person, like private, like you're going to his shop. Yeah. So الحلاق. So we have ألم, شعر. كيف نقول eyes؟ عين. So عين is واحدة.
عيون.
والجمع عيون. عيون. وما معنى عينين؟ The two. جميل. كيف نقول ears؟
This has to do with hearing. Basar. No, basar is to see. سمع is to hear.
سمع معناها hearing. Hearing as the ability, but the organ itself is udhun. It's mentioned a lot in the Quran, but it's mentioned in this form once, but always you will have it as adhan. And I need you to make a difference between adhan and
with the zam.
adhan.
What's the difference? What to say? Oh, it's the Hamza and the Mad.
There is a mad and there's just an hamza, so there are two alif. So uzun are ears.
The same.
We find Dr. Ayman. She was here.
Azan is ears. Yeah, ears.
What is uzun then?
Uzun was
Uzun is the ear.
One ear.
One.
And then it's 2 years. And
Azan is the call to prayer. I thought Azan had a za, but it's actually a zal.
So in Quran, we have آذان. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يقول أو آذان يسمعون بها. That's the Quran very clearly says أعين يبصرون بها. Don't they have like eyes that they see? أو آذان يسمعون بها, or ears that they hear with. So كلمة آذان موجودة في القرآن. In one, you have أذن. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, and الكفار يقولون ويقولون هو أذن. Like he hears,
He's just ears. He doesn't like understand anything.
Yeah, and he doesn't make a decision of his own. He just like listens to whatever people say. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this. Okay? So adhan. لكن الأذان. Adhan here is adhan. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. لكن آذان بالمد. You see the difference? Adhan آذان.
What's the literal meaning of adhan? Is it to call or is it?
أحسن. لأن أذن معناها to make people hear something, to declare. That's why it's mentioned in the Quran, in the story of Sayyidina Ibrahim. He says to him, وَأَذِّن فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ. Call people to Hajj. So that's why adhan, literal meaning is a call.
It's the af'ala.
Yes, أذن عفوا فعل أذن. The alif is أصلية.
Right.
So it's the fa of the word. So
Oh, right, yes, asliya.
Yeah.
So fa'ala. So
Fa'ala.
alif, ayn, lam.
فعل with the
Oh, and
shadda.
one who calls to pray is a mu'adhin.
مؤذن, the caller to the prayer, because he is also أذن, so رباعي أذن فعل, and then المضارع يؤذن, so the caller for the prayer is
Mu'adhin.
مؤذن. That's why the ميم مضمة that you're talking about gives you the فاعل لو كان الفعل أكثر من ثلاث.
Yes.
So يؤذن and مؤذن. And this is how you write the word مؤذن, because there is a waw, so you put the hamza on top of it. مؤذن.
To make someone hear is adhan.
Yes. Yeah, you double the zal. Adhan.
So آذان. كيف نقول نوز؟
أنف.
أنف. أنف. وجمع أنف أنوف. That will bring us to a very famous expression in Arabic. اللغة العربية عندنا كلمة اسمها رغم. رغم معناها despite. In spite of, you say رغم. رغم. If I make a phrase رغم أنفه, despite his nose, or رغم أنفك, despite your nose, or رغم أنفي, despite my nose. هذه العبارة في اللغة العربية معناها that he didn't want to do something and it was done. It means that he didn't like it, but it happened. رغم أنفه. Like for example, you say he didn't want to give me this, but then I took it. أخذته رغم أنفه. Yeah. Why is that? Because كلمة أنف في اللغة العربية
So respect as well.
معناها pride. Pride. فمثلا يقولون, if you want to say someone is too proud of themselves, it says أنفه عالي, like a high nose. Yeah. If you want to say to someone like, raise your chin, like lift your chin. In English, use a chin to say like, stand up, be proud. في اللغة العربية we use أنف, ارفع أنفك. So like let's say أنف is the equivalent of a chin in English in that sense. We don't use a chin, we say أنف. They use the same thing if they want to say destroyed someone completely. They say or like shamed him. They say وضع أنفه في التراب. He put his nose in the dust. So has the anf. So always the word anf represents this, like so when we say رغم أنفه, معناها against his will. Like he didn't want it, but it happened. Like I took it. Like this happened. رغم أنفه. Like you say to someone, okay, I'm going to have this, and say, oh, he won't allow you. And you say, what? رغم أنفي. It doesn't matter like why is it like he wants it. رغم أنفي. Okay. كيف نقول mouth؟
I know lips.
شكرا. فم. فم is mouth. كيف نقول teeth؟
Dr. Sufi said Islam.
أسنان.
I think every tooth also has a name.
Yes.
In Tajweed, they kind of use it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
to touch your.
Yeah. They named it after the job. Like the front one, they call them القواطع من قطع.
Qata'a,
So they
right.
like incisors like the part that like cuts. أسنان is teeth in general. That's why كيف نقول a dentist؟
Oh, Musnan.
أسنان.
كيف نقول a doctor؟ طبيب أسنان.
Because a Musnan would be a teacher.
Yeah, it would be a teacher.
Yeah.
That would help you a lot. You can have all the jobs that you'd like easily. And في اللغة العربية كلمة طبيب معناها doctor, medical doctor. And then you add whichever part you want and it gives you the speciality. Arabic is not complicated, just like in English, like you say a cardiologist. في العربية طبيب قلب. A doctor for the heart. طبيب قلب. A dentist. طبيب أسنان. Ophthalmologist. طبيب عيون. Goes like this.
Obstetrician.
Obstetrician. Yeah. So we have, you can talk about whom the person deals with.
Hamila.
Yeah. So they call طبيب نساء. So
Female.
yeah, like pediatrician. طبيب أطفال. So sometimes it's about the body part. Sometimes it's about the person. The person. Yeah. So you can add. So obstetrician you would say طبيب نساء. وأحيانا they call him طبيب ولادة. طبيب ولادة. Because women's hospital في اللغة العربية نقول مستشفى الولادة. وأحيانا مستشفى النساء. Women's, like literally. Yeah. So it's either the body part or the person. So it's like أطفال, طبيب نساء. Yeah. Dermatologist, someone deals with the skin. So say طبيب جلد. And الجلد skin or هكذا. So كلمة أسنان. So remember طبيب أسنان. أنا قلت لكم حلق. There is another one that is very famous. They say حنجرة for the throat. حنجرة. and it's in Quran in the plural form. وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبُ الْحَنَاجِرِ. So in Quran you have the word al-hanajir, جمع حنجرة. I'm mentioning this to say to you like an ENT doctor. ENT doctor, they say في اللغة العربية they don't start with ears, they start with أنف. So في اللغة العربية they say طبيب أنف أذن حنجرة. So في اللغة العربية he is an NET.
Nose, ear and throat.
Yeah, they start with the nose. So أنف أذن حنجرة. That's an ENT doctor. أنف أذن. Again, you know, those things may seem complicated, but when you look at the Bible and you learn them, and then you're not just learning them, you're learning even like a doctor, like and what speciality, and you can describe the pain and things like this. It's quite an essential part of any language.
Is there a word hinjar?
No, didn't use it. But you said about the throat. What about the neck?
Oh, I think it's in Surat al-Masad. They use the word neck in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jid. But there is a more famous word and it's mentioned in Surah Al-Balad. Fakku raqabah. This is the most famous for neck. It's used a lot in Quran. And I'll show you how it's even used in other contexts with different meanings. Even in this, it's not referring to a neck as a literal meaning.
Because I know the word raqiba, which is
Raqabah, I know, we'll come to this.
Yeah.
Raqabah, al-jam'u riqab. وفي الرقاب رقابهم. Raqabah refers to the neck, like you know the neck, that like the outer part, because that helps you to like turn around. It's not talking about the anatomy inside, it's just the outer part, like you know, making you able to do this. That's why كلمة رقيب and راقبة معناها to monitor someone, watch them. Okay, and so this is the root رقبة. You have رقبة as a neck. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says فك رقبة. فك معناها to dismantle something, to break it down. فك.
so fa kaf and
فاء كاف with a شدة, so فك كاف. Yeah. فك. Okay.
fakka means to dismantle.
Yeah, to dismantle, to break down, to free something because it was like tied and you just untied it. Yeah, it comes here. That's a good meaning. It comes to untie. To untie something. That's fakka. Fakka معناها to untie. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, and here you will come to the meaning, like you know, that is behind the general meaning that you see in front of you. So فك رقبة معناها freeing a slave, untying a neck. That's فك رقبة. That's what it means.
So fakka raqaba
Yeah.
or fakku raqaba.
Yeah. Yeah.
The dhamma.
And the verb raqaba means to manage.
To monitor.
To monitor.
Or watch something. Yeah. Well, it's mentioned in the Quran في الجمع الرقاب. You know, there's a famous verse that talks about whom we should give zakat to. Yeah, it says إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب. So the verse that talks about whom we should give zakat to, it says وفي الرقاب, and in the, like zakat can be given in the necks. يقصد to free slaves. So you can use your zakat money to buy them and free them. So that's why it's mentioned وفي الرقاب. So the word raqaba mentioned in the Quran, فك رقبة, freeing a slave, and in other verse about the zakat in the plural form وفي الرقاب.
Scarf, is that not
Okay. Dismantle, untie, free. So you can say Faku al Hassan, which means untie the horse.
Yes, أحسنت, فك الحصان.
That would be dismantle the horse. That would be.
Yeah.
Untie.
Yeah, untie the horse.
But Faku Lego.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dismantle.
Yeah, Lego. كيف نقول Lego باللغة العربية? Yeah, there's a word.
There's a word for Lego.
Yeah, of course.
But it's a toy.
I know, but
Lego.
the word
Lego.
would refer to the shape of it.
It's a toy.
It's a cube.
Kaaba?
Kaaba, the root word for anything that has to do with cube is kaf, ayn, ba. That's why Kaaba is Kaaba, because the word Kaaba literally means a cube. It's the shape of a cube.
Kaaba means to be cube-like.
Yes, ahsant. Or, yeah. So Kaaba to be cube-like. To make something on the shape of a cube would be Kaaba. Right? We learned this. We said 3 letters, it happens on its own. You double the second one, then you do it to someone else. Alima, to know. Allama, to give knowledge, to teach. So Kaaba, to be cube-like. But Kaaba, to form a cube. Yeah? That's the Kaaba. Okay. Good. So, if Kaaba معناها to form a cube, what would be the مضارع? So Kaaba is the ماضي. المضارع would be يكعب. يكعب. And then the one who forms a cube would be مكعب. You remember, but then we learned a rule about what about the thing that is formed in a cube. If مكعب is the one who forms, the thing would be مكعب with a fatha. Perfect. Now we reach مكعب معناها a cube. You see how we reach the word cube? مكعب, because what's a cube? It is something that is formed in the shape. So the word مكعب is a cube. You see how even names of shape come from the root, and it follows a pattern. كعب, يكعب. So the thing that is shaped is مكعب. That refers to any cube. Okay, that's the shape. One Lego, because it's like a piece of something, we call it مكعبة. Okay, you see, so it's like a feminine cube. مكعبة. So that's one. Lego in general is مكعبات. If you write the word مكعبات on Google and see the photos, you will see that
That's
مكعبات. But this is the beauty, as I said to you, because Lego doesn't mean anything.
no.
In 100 years, if Lego as a company falls and another one comes out, the word is going to change because the word is just following the brand. Lego, you cannot, I mean, they would, but linguistically it's incorrect. You're not going to make a verb from the word Lego. You're not going to make an adjective from the word Lego. You're not going to make a shape from the word Lego. But in Arabic, yeah. So مكعبات معناها Lego.
Mukaib is cube. Mukaib.
Is someone who makes
Is the
Someone
one,
who
More
yeah.
like
Muka'ib is
maker.
someone who is playing with Lego, let's say.
cube.
Because he's the one who's forming cubes.
مكعب المكعب.
Okay, and let's see something that is even better than this. You see, I told you before that you have al-masdar, how to get the noun from the verb. So if the verb is ka'aba, the masdar would be, if it's fa'ala, the masdar would be what?
I forgot what the masdar was.
Yeah, the noun.
Oh, verbal noun.
So if I say fa'ala, what is the masdar from it? So ka'aba. So allama, what is education?
تعليم.
تعليم, أحسنت.
تفعل then.
درس, what is teaching?
تدريب.
تدريس. So فعل, what is the masdar?
تفعيل.
تفعيل. This is what I was after. That's we call المصدر. هذا فعل, هذا مصدر. فعل, تفعيل. So كعب, تكعيب. This is the noun for me. You know, the word كعب can mean to bind the book, and tak'ib is binding. If you go to any stationary place in any Arab country and you'll see, this is all we have binding, like available in tak'ib. Why is that? Because you've got papers, yeah? They are flat, like a rectangle right now. But if you want to make a rectangle into a cube, you just give it dimension. That's a cube. So even binding in Arabic, see, it goes as far as that. And then you just bind it. So they call binding tak'ib, because that's what you do. You turn papers into cubes.
So for the pyramids, did they have a word like?
A word for it. Haram. Yeah.
That's a place of. I mean, where things are forbidden.
No, you talk about haram.
Oh, the ha.
With
Oh,
the
oh.
ha. Yeah.
I was confused then.
كلمة haram.
Oh,
Haram.
Ihram and Misr.
أهرام مصر.
Oh yeah, okay,
So
right.
pyramids. Yeah, you have a word for this haram. Haram.
What does haram like mean by itself?
But haram refers to this shape. Haram refers to like a sequence of let's say when
Pyramidical.
you see it's like haram, like a mirroring of a triangle. That's This is the idea of it.
So literally, we can use this word for a pyramid.
Yes, like literally haram. كيف نقول
ألف. ألف.
كيف نقول hand
يد.
يد arm ذراع ذراع بالذال is arm ذراع. كيف نقول finger إصبع إصبع معناها finger. nail ظفر.
What about hands and fingers of the hands and fingers of the toes?
Same thing. We don't have, so in Arabic إصبع is a toe as well. The thing says إصبع اليد إصبع القدم.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because pretty much it's the same. A finger is a toe, but it's in the feet.
Yeah.
what's ذراع?
The arm.
اه
Yeah. ذراع and ظفر is nail. So I was saying كيف نقول a fracture. كيف نقول bone. Yeah. عظم. Yes. أو عظام. The plural. Yeah. عظام. أنا من believer say the Quran أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا if we die and we become dust and وعظاما
Yeah.
and bones.
So nizam is singular. Bones
Bones, yeah, is plural.
is plural. Okay.
Yeah.
Azam.
Izama would be one.
Yeah, عظمة. One.
Azma.
عظمة.
Azma.
what's إصبع again?
A finger.
Finger.
So nail cutter will be miz. Mizpah.
You can call it. You can call it. Like they use another word. They use قصافة. Why is that?
Oh, it's a small sentence.
Because قصافة with a fa, قصافة معناها to trim something.
Awesome.
So they call it a trimmer. Yeah. So we have قصافة. Yeah. So عظام. كيف نقول a fracture? كسر. من كسر to break something. كسر. So كلمة a fracture is كسر. That will bring us to كيف نقول to fix a fracture, to put a cast.
Well, I know to heal.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm mentioning this for a specific reason because they took this word from Arabic, they borrowed it. الفعل جبر. جبر معناها to put a cast, to fix a fracture. Okay, and it exists in English, but they borrowed only the noun of the science, algebra.
Yeah.
algebra, because what's algebra is about? It's about fixing fractures. So it's algebra. Algebra, why? Like in English, normally no words start with an AL.
Yeah.
That's the Arabic L. And it's algebra. So you can add it to your list of words. Algebra.
The person who's
Jabir.
Jabir.
Jabir. His name even was like a fixer of fractures. That
He was because he was a polymath.
Yeah.
He used to do many things.
Yeah. So كلمة جبر, you can use it in math as to work out an equation to fix a fracture, or actually as in fixing, like as in a doctor fixing or putting a cast. لذلك the word cast is جبيرة. If someone is studying fiqh in Arabic, they will have a section, it's called المسح على الجبيرة. It is about the rules of like wiping over a cast. If you, a cast is in like, you know, like a wudu part. So كلمة جبيرة.
Jabira is literally a cast.
Yeah, cast. Yeah. So جبر الجبر.
Jabara is to put a cast.
Jabara is to fix.
Yeah,
Fixed fracture.
yeah,
Oh.
or to put a cast, because what,
Same thing.
when do you put a cast?
Fixed fracture.
To fix a fracture, an actual fracture, like a physical.
Sorry?
So it
Kasara
means
is a
both.
Kasara is just
Yeah.
kasar, not
Yeah. Someone says, لماذا كنت غائب لمدة شهر؟ لماذا أنت غائب لشهر؟ ما معنى غائب؟
disappear.
Absent, yes, not present. ما معنى شهر؟
Month.
A month. Ask someone, لماذا أنت غائب لشهر? What have you been for a month? Like, why are you absent? يقول عظامي كسرت or كسرت عظمي. I fractured like a bone. أو كسرت ذراعي, fractured my arm. وجبرها الطبيب. جبرة. So the doctor, like, you know, put a cast in it. Yeah. والجبيرة عندك لشهر. The cast was for a month. See, few words like it can make you tell something. That complicates, yeah. جبرة, جبيرة.
Jabira is a cast.
Jabira is the cast because that's its job. It's fa'ila. This is what it does all the time, is to fix a fracture. Okay. I'll give you a little break. I just need to do something hot.
You have tea.
You have tea, okay?
We'll get some cups from there.
Do you have any cups as well? Need to pass this.
Yeah. It's right there. So الضمائر. أول شيء ما معنى ضمارة؟
To cover.
To hide. ضمرة. Because الضمير it hides the doer.
Yeah.
He did who he. You know what I mean? So if the name cannot appear, then you use the pronoun. You mean? So we have what we call ضمائر الفاعل. ضمائر الفاعل. We have ضمائر المفعول به. وعندنا ضمائر الملكية. الفاعل، ضمائر المفعول به، ضمائر الملكية. ما معنى ضمائر الفاعل؟
Personal pronouns.
ما معنى فاعل؟
Oh, the doer.
So there are ضمائر just to replace the doer.
The doer.
ما معنى ضمائر المفعول به؟
The one who's done to.
So pronoun to replace the one or the thing that the action is done to. وعندنا ضمائر الملكية.
Personal.
Yeah.
Ownership.
Yeah, ما معنى ملكة
To own.
to own. So possessiveness of like ownership. ضمائر الملكية.
Possessive pronoun.
Yeah, possessive pronouns. Instead of saying كتاب أحمد, I say كتابه. If I say كتاب الطلاب, I say كتابهم, their book. هذه الضمائر. Amen? كتاب. So, I need you as students to have ضمائر organized in your head as a teacher. So you can actually teach them. Because you know the information. Once I say a pronoun, you know what it means. But you cannot bring them all together because you don't have them in a system in your mind. So how do we organize pronouns in our mind? We start with the first person.
Yeah.
So it's always أنا and نحن. So when we learn possessiveness, we follow the same order. So أنا in possessiveness, what it is?
I.
Yeah, the ياء. E. So كتاب
B.
B. كتابي. And نحن in possessiveness is
Us. So we.
نا. نا. If I said to you بيتنا, you would say of our house.
Yeah.
So you know it, but as I said, it's not organized in category. So I need you to learn it the same way a teacher teaches it. Okay? And normally when you do this with pronouns, make them into 3 separate sections. So that's it, it's done. That's the first person. It's either mine or our. Then we're going to move to all you. So أنت كتابك. So and then أنت كتابك.
There's no hamza in the kaf.
Yeah. كتابك. كتابك. كتابك كتابك. And then للجمع, your, like all of you.
أنتم.
So it would be كتابكم. كتابكم. And we can use the dual form to complete the list and the plural feminine as well. So كيف نقول your for المثنى كتاب
Antun. So sorry. It's Antuma, isn't it?
أنتما. So be كتاب.
Kitabukuma, I think.
كتابكما. أحسنت. Always think if the plural is something, the dual would be the same thing with an ألف. لذلك كيف أقول you all أنتم but you both أنتما. It's أنتم but I put because this ألف في اللغة العربية is called ألف المثنى, the ألف of the dual. So I just add it, it makes the plural two. Yeah, so كتابكما. And then جمع المؤنث. What letter do we use for جمع المؤنث in pronouns?
Antun.
Think about the pronoun. كتابات, that's جمع المؤنث, not in pronoun, that's in nouns. مدرسة, مدرسات, مهندسة, مهندسات. But in pronoun, كيف أقول you, female, plural.
Antunna.
أنتن. Look at أنت and أنتِ, أنتم, أنتن. So what do I add to أنت to make it plural feminine? Noon.
Noon. Extra noon.
The extra noon is an أنتن. Okay, so it will be كتابكن. That way you are going to see the pattern. For your in Arabic it's always a capital.
So this is كتابكم.
So for your it's always
plural feminine.
كاف.
Your book. Your
كاف with a فتحة.
Yeah.
كاف with a كاف with a meme to represent the plural. An alif to make it two. And noon to make this plural feminine.
For more than two.
More, yeah.
And
مؤنث.
muannas and dual muannas.
المثنى مذكر ومؤنث. The dual goes with both.
Kitabukunna, sorry, is your book dual.
No.
كنا. No.
Sorry.
Plural feminine.
Plural feminine.
المثنى في اللغة العربية للمذكر والمؤنث.
Yes.
كتابكما is masculine and feminine.
Okay. So always remember this. في اللغة العربية 12 ضميرا. 12. 12. اثنان أنا ونحن. 5 you. وخمسة he. Literally. Because that's you. This is just, it's different types of you. But they all have the kaf to represent you in pronoun. And then with the fatha we always like anta. So if you see the pattern, they always have the kaf. So these are 5. And then we will have another 5 for he, she, they both, they all masculine, they all feminine. That's what makes a good student. Organize the information in your head the same way a teacher does. 12. 2, I and me. 5, you, all types. You masculine, feminine. And then dual, and then plural, masculine and feminine. And the same thing is going to go for the third pass. Okay? So, كيف نقول his؟ أحسنتي. ها كتابه. كتاب للمؤنث.
كتابها.
كتابها.
All male, all of you. That is plural male. Kitabukum. Your book, male, plural.
And it has male.
كتاب.
Her book.
كيف نقول their؟ كتابهم.
كتابها.
Because even the pronoun is hum. كتابهم. كيف نقول their للمثنى كتابه. للمثنى for the dual.
هما.
هما. Because we said the dual is a plural, but I add the alif of that too. So كتاب هما. And the word huma, even on its own, it means they both huma. And then the last one, كتاب. كيف نقول their book مؤنث. What do I add?
There. Hun, I think.
هن.
كتابه.
أحسنت.
No.
Okay, you got the pattern. Ha in all of them. And then I add the meme for the plural. Look, the meme was here for the plural, but because kaf represents the second, I add the meme. And I want to make this plural dual, I added the alif. I wanted to make this plural feminine, I added the nun. That's why I wrote them like this so you can see that actually there is a pattern, that it's not random.
No, even though I didn't get to write side by side like that.
I think we need to
Just take a photo of that.
Okay, you see? Organization of the information makes it easy. And you can see that's how. What happens is that the student would know most of the pronouns, but one here, one there, they cannot see the relationship.
And just underneath, I'm just going to write the meanings as well.
Yeah.
Just so that I don't forget.
Yeah.
So
So here we have my and our.
Oh, yes. That's
And
good.
then you,
Masculine.
but that's masculine. And then let me add S as well. So masculine singular.
Yeah.
And that's you. And that's
Masculine, feminine singular.
feminine singular.
FS, yeah.
And that's you. But that's plural masculine. And that's you. But that's dual.
Come on, yes.
Yeah. And that's you. But that's plural. Okay. That's his. That's her. That's the. But that's plural masculine. That's there. But that's dual. And that's ومش هي ما that's plural. I start my teacher pronouns with possessiveness because they are going to help us a lot, even in this. Most of the students know this. You, I know for a fact that you know ضمائر الفاعل. ضمائر الفاعل are the أنا, نحن, أنت, أنت, all what we do. But these ضمائر الملكية, normally students have some of them missing because you tend to forget the ha and the kaf, which one is kum and hum and huma and kuma.
The ones I confuse is the ones with the nouns, so the ati and the una, ina, not to confuse with these ones.
These ones. Yeah, that's why, inshallah, we're going to have all of them in like a system and then apply it and use it.
So these are for the perfect, as in for Madi.
No.
This is just for now.
These just for now.
Just
Forget about, because they attach to verbs.
Yeah.
But they will be different types.
Okay.
We call them possessiveness because that's why I chose a noun. I chose the word kitab. So this is just to say whom it belongs to. You see it in the surah that we have done.
سورة القدر.
انتوا in سورة الكافرون لكم.
Yeah.
Yeah. وليا for me. And we say سورة القدر تنزل الملائكة والروح في ها لكن it's it في اللغة العربية because it's ليلة مؤنث. يمين تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله هو talking about أبو لهب وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأة ما معنى امرأة a woman yes وامرأته who and his woman حمالة الحطب. The Quran shifted because talking about his woman في جيدها in her neck حبل من مسد. It goes like this. Pronoun specifically those ones they form the majority of the Quran. We say جنات تجري من تحتها because Jannah is مؤنث so من تحتها from beneath her from beneath it الأنهار. And then also talks about Jannah says خالدين فيها. You see this how only this there are full surahs you don't because when you learn the language of Quran pronouns form more than the words and the roots themselves because there isn't a single word whether it's we agreed together أي كلمة في اللغة العربية اسم أو فعل أو حرف. So let's see any اسم would belong to someone. Any noun would either mine or yours or his or theirs. Any فعل will be done by someone to someone. So that's the فاعل and the مفعول به. Okay. Any حرف would be like فيها تحتها would be attached to a pronoun. If it's not followed by a noun, it will be attached to a pronoun. So imagine the amount of pronouns that are there. Some full surahs, like we say, and knowing the pronouns, you can use it as a reverse way to know if a word is masculine or feminine, plural or singular. You look. That was a question I asked before because when I taught you al-mu'annas, I said علامات المؤنث, the signs for mu'annath are تاء مربوطة, ألف مد, ألف فوت بهمزة, ألف مكسورة. Good. But then I said to you, some words are mu'annath by nature without any addition to this. So one of them is الشمس and النار. But then how would I know this? You look at this. والشمس وضحاها. So referring to Hashem's the possessive pronoun that's used is her. So in reverse, I know that Hashem's is feminine. You know Hashem's is feminine, but that would help with a lot of other words in the Quran whom you may not know the gender, but from the pronouns you'll be able to determine the gender. That's how important pronouns is. And I'm not exaggerating. If you master types of pronouns that attach to a noun, and types of pronouns that you have, I would say you have, like you'll be able to break down a third of Quran just by pronouns, maybe even more, maybe half. Because if we say, because when people talk about half of Quran, they talk about the nouns, but they don't, or like the words, the roots, but they don't pay attention. The pronouns, they play a major part. Because they attach to nouns, they attach to verbs, they attach to huruf, ism, fi'l, harf. Right? So, I need you to master this to the extent that you can write it down yourself. This is the extent that I wanted to, that you can write it. In your head, you know 12. And then you can write all of them, like أنا, نحن, أنت, أنتِ, أنتم, أنتما. And then you write a word like kitab or qalam. And then you see what you can, how you would add, how you make it my or our. You write the English and you leave the rest blank and then you test yourself. And then you are going to see what is missing. Okay, so that's very important. I put it in that so it helps you. So you always remember that in your is ka, in his, or the third person is ha, and then the extra bit is inshallah. Yeah, every one of us learn in a different way. You make like strings in your mind and you like match this to this. So make your own way into knowing them by heart to the extent that you can come on the board and explain them. Because afterwards, the rest of the vocab again will be roots, and then we learn this when we do analysis. If you remember, I didn't start with you analyzing pronouns. When we did Surah An-Nasr, I give you the root words like fataha, dakhala, istaghfara, and things like this. But once we complete the circle of pronouns, then when we do analysis, we will be able to analyze every single thing because we will see the pronouns in place. So those are a must. Inshallah, next week you come and those are fixed because I won't be able to move forward without these. Because if I give you the rest, then everything is just going to mix, which is kana, hana, tana. No, but if you do this first, you would see when I teach you these, why I didn't teach them now. And they will be so easy if you master this. So that's your homework. Your homework is to master these pronouns.
Is there a mnemonic for it? Or
There isn't actually, aside from what I just did, is that put in your head like this. In your is kaf. And then to make it plural, you add a meme for masculine. Dual, you add an alif to make it, because the alif is a dual. To make it feminine, you add the noon. This is going to apply here and it's going to apply here. Make it like this.
I think we know most of them. It's just
Yeah, you know.
Some of the plurals.
Yeah,
Are just
but that's why I said I knew that you know, because when we analyze you refer to them. But what I'm trying to say, like in order.
Yeah, in structure.
Yeah, in structure like this. Like normally, people when they teach pronoun, they put the dual here for it makes sense. The dual goes before the plural, but I put it here. Why? To show you what happened. It was plural, and then I added the alif to make this plural only two. So this order is not random. It's to help you. If you want to take like a photo or something, you can even come close. So if you want to zoom in later, then it will be clear. Sometimes if you take it from far away, it's not that clear.
So are we gonna do the other two like next time?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We're going to do the rest afterwards, but when those are like well established, because there are things that you may not pay attention to.
Let that space empty.
Those extra parts can even be detached, because these they call them, they are attached pronoun because they don't exist on their own, like ana, anta, nahnu.
Yeah.
But you would look in Surah Al-Fatiha, we say iyyaka, it's you, okay, but it's supposed to be anta.
yeah, that's true.
Why it's iyyaka? Why it's not anta? And then when we have the full circle, you see that anta is damir what? Fa'il. Look at the sentence. The sentence is saying na'bud. If we say anta, it means who is worshipping? Allah
is worshiping.
But we say we don't use anta because we are the one who are worshipping. So we use iyyaka. Those who never taught iyyaka, iyyaki, iyyahum, iyyakum, iyyakunna, you might not ever heard of them. Because pronouns are not just like this. In the sentence, there's a difference when you put anta and when you put Arabic keeps it is very meticulous. In other languages, the system got messed up. That's part of research. Because people do not differentiate between the doer, the subject, and the object in other languages. And a very famous example that I always mention, someone knocking on your door, and then you say, who? Then they reply, it's me. That's wrong. Why? Because when you said who, you are asking about who is knocking. The answer should be it's I, not it's me. Me, in English linguistics, it's an object pronoun. He hit me. You don't use it unless the action is done to you. So this is happening over English, French, and other languages because in grammar they don't like put the distinction between these, but Arabic is like very like strong about that part. So we will learn that part as well, how to distinguish between damair, because that's important because you need to know if here the word, because the problem is in English. In English, you can be used for the doer or the thing that is done. You say, you brought this to me, and you say, I hit you. You see, you is the same. Whether you are doing the action is done to you. There's no difference. But you would say, but that's normal. No, it's not normal, because if you look at the rest of English, you would have, he brought this, but do you say it was brought to he? You say it was brought to him. So here English made a distinction between when he is doing the action and when the action is done to him. But they didn't do this distinction in you. The system is failing because it's not consistent. But in Arabic, this is not happening. So that's why I don't like students just knowing pronouns by knowing them, because later on you are going to think English and you are going to do the same problem. You are going to use a damir for fa'il instead of damir for maf'ul and so on. Okay, it's big, yeah. It's big. It's not just can and you, and it's not as easy as you think. It's not hard. It's just, as I said to you, you need just to switch the way your mind think, because you're thinking English and English is not stable, it's not like organized. So we're going to fix, and you know when you do this, it fixes your English, it fixes the way you think about it, because it puts things straight. Okay?
So the ma'al al-fa'il is the anta, anti, nahnu. And what's the ma'al al-maf'ul bih?
The ma'al al-maf'ul bihi are next time, because I don't want to get you mixed.
Okay.
All what I need you to know, the ma'al al-fa'il are fixed in your head. Jameen? And then I need this first. And you believe me,
Next week.
once you have this well established, then the rest are going to be nothing. They're going to be nothing, inshallah. Okay? I'm going to just leave a bit early because the guys who came are going to Wolverhampton right now. There's a function.
Are you going?
Yeah, and I'm going. Yeah, so it's at 7:30. So it's exactly we just arrived on time.